Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Crochet Storytime with Charlie. On today's episode, what if I told you there was a place in Texas where people still refuse to honk their horn after dark? And it's not because of traffic, it's not because of superstition, but because they believe something answers. Hidden among the trees of South San Antonio sits an old bridge crossing Elk Creek. During the day, it's quiet, peaceful even. But when the sun disappears, the stories begin to surface. The stories of blood curdling screams echoing through the woods, of hoofbeats chasing cars down lonely roads, of claw marks appearing on vehicles with no explanation, and a burned woman whose face has become so horribly disfigured that the locals gave her a name no one wants to say after midnight: the Donkey Lady. Whether it's a ghost, an urban legend, or something far stranger, her story has haunted South Texas for generations. Tonight, we're going to cross that bridge ourselves. Elm Creek winds quietly through Texas. It's just south of San Antonio. Today, the old crossing is known as the Old Applewhite Bridge Trailhead. Visitors can walk nearby, hike the trails, and experience the same lonely stretch of creek that has inspired decades of terrifying folklore. The bridge itself is no longer open to vehicle traffic, but that hasn't stopped people from visiting. If anything, it's made the place even more mysterious. Thousands travel here every year hoping to witness something they can't explain. Some leave disappointed, others swear they never come back alone, but before anyone reported seeing strange figures beneath the bridge, there had to be a beginning. And that's where the legend becomes complicated. Like most old legends, no one agrees on exactly how the Donkey Lady became, but one of the oldest versions places the tragedy sometimes during the 1800s. According to the story, a poor family lived near Elm Creek, surviving on little more than hard work and a handful of livestock. One day, a spoiled son of a wealthy merchant wandered onto their property, and after provoking one of the family's work animals, he began beating it mercilessly. The farmer and his wife rushed outside. Unable to stop the attack peacefully, they drove the young man away by throwing rocks. Humiliated, he promised revenge. That night he returned, only this time he wasn't alone. A mob surrounded the family's cabin. Torches were thrown, and flames consumed the small wooden home. The father tried to escape. He was shot before he made it 20 feet. Inside, the wife and children were trapped. Their screams echoed through the creek valley, and then something happened that transformed tragedy into legend. According to the tale, a figure burst through one of the burning windows, still engulfed in flames. Her hands had burned into blackened stumps. Her face had melted into an elongated shape that no longer looked entirely human. The mob stood frozen. The burning woman staggered toward Elm Creek, then disappeared into the dark water. Her body was never found. But that's only one version. Another popular story claims the fire happened much later, but this time it wasn't a wealthy merchant seeking revenge, it was the woman's own husband. According to this telling, he intentionally set their farmhouse ablaze. Their children died inside, but his wife survived, but just barely. The inferno left her body horribly scarred. Her fingers fused together in hoof-like shapes, and her face became stretched and burned beyond recognition. Driven mad by grief and unbearable pain, she wandered into the woods surrounding Elm Creek. Some say she died there, others believe she never truly left. Despite the differences between these stories, one detail remains remarkably consistent: a horribly burned woman, Elm Creek, and a bridge where something still waits. As decades pass, the stories only become stranger. Visitors claim they could hear screams coming from beneath the bridge. Others reported heavy footsteps following throughout the darkness. Some described the sound as human. Others insisted it sounded exactly like galloping hooves. Then came the sightings. People describe seeing a figure standing among the trees. Some say it's a woman, but not entirely. Some claimed her face resembles that of a donkey. Others say the darkness makes it impossible to tell. One moment she'd be standing motionless, then the next, poof, she's gone. Perhaps one of the strangest stories involved parked vehicles. Drivers had reported hearing scratching against their doors, a loud pounding on the roof. Then the windows would violently rattle. Others later discovered strange dents and marks they couldn't explain. Others even claimed finding hoof-shaped impressions on their cars after the leaving of bridges. Any evidence? Or is it all just coincidence? No one knows. Now, the other tradition that has become inseparable from the Donkey Lady legend is locals say that if you stop near the bridge and you honk your horn, she'll come looking for you. No one agrees why. Some people believe the sound reminds her of the night her family died. Others think it is simply just announcing your presence. Visitors who have tried it reported hearing screams, seeing movements in the trees, hearing footsteps, or just getting an unoverwhelmingly feeling that they're suddenly not alone. Of course, fear always has a way of amplifying every sound. The rustling of leaves become footsteps. The distant animal cry becomes a human scream. But in the darkness, the imagination fills the rest. But for believers, that's exactly what the Donkey Lady wants. The fascinating thing about why the Donkey Lady is, if she's real or not, is that no one agrees on who or what she is. Some believe she's a grieving mother, others believe she was murdered, some people just say she's just a victim, and others insist that she's become something far darker. The details change, the decades change, even her origin changed, yet somehow the legend survives. Generation after generation, passed around campfires, shared between classmates, whispered by teenagers daring another to visit the bridge after sunset. Every person who tells the story adds another layer, another possibility, another reason to look over your shoulder. Maybe that's why the Donkey Lady has endured longer than most ghost stories. And it's not just because everyone doesn't believe it or everyone does believe it. It's because no one can truly explain why it refuses to disappear. Today, the trails around Old Applehead or Applewhite Bridge remains open to visitors. During the daylight, they offer peaceful views of Elm Creek and the surrounding Texas countryside. When darkness settles over the trees, the atmosphere changes. It's more gloomy, very dark and quiet. Whether the Donkey Lady is nothing more than folklore, a ghost story born from tragedy, or simply one of Texas's greatest urban legends, one thing is certain: the next time you find yourself standing near that old bridge, maybe you think twice before honking your horn. And if you enjoyed today's journey into the haunted history and forgotten folklore, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. If you've ever visited any place like the Donkey Lady Bridge or experienced anything that you can't explain, please give us the next topic on what we could cover here with Crocheted Storytime with Charlie. And have a nice day, and thanks for watching.